everybody, it's me Charlotte, and today I'm going to show you this stitch. I have no idea what I'm going to call it. I've been calling it my fabulous mistake because I was trying to learn another stitch and I made a mistake and this was the result. I don't know if you can really tell, but it is like there's diagonal twist that go on the diagonal. It's a 4-row repeat. I want to say it's beginner friendly. It might be a little challenging, but with practice you guys will have it in no time. It's the only way you can grow as being a knitter anyway, is challenge yourself and you grow. You get better. So this is what it looks like on the front. This is the back. Not much happening on the back, but it's still nice. You can see some diagonal stripes. But this is the front, and I don't know if the camera is really, I think the light is washing it out. I'm going to try to turn the light out and see if you guys can see the detail any better. Can you see that detail? It's almost like 3D with some shadow. It casts like a shadow within itself, and it's kind of like 3D. It's a little squishy on front, but I think you guys are really going to like it. I think it would make a very nice scarf or a blanket. I don't know. You guys try it out and let me know what you think it would be good for. And like I said, I don't know if this stitch already exists. I've looked, I couldn't find it. So if you guys do know that this stitch is already in existence, let me know in the comments below. But like I said, right now I'm just calling it my fabulous mistake because that's exactly what it was. Before I get into it and show you guys how to do this, I want to say real quick, thank you for everyone who has subscribed to my channel. Thank you for liking, commenting, and sharing my videos. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so now. And if you'd like to follow me on Facebook, there'll be a link in the description below. Alright, how do we make this fabulous mistake stitch? Let me show you. You need to cast on an odd number of stitches. So, that's what we're going to do. And the reason I chose to cast on with you this time is because the first 4 rows, because it is a 4-row repeat, the first 4 rows, they're kind of a little tight. Once you get past that, I mean, the stitches, they flow, it goes fast, you'll get faster. It's a lot easier. So I thought I would just show you that in the beginning there may be a bit of a struggle, but it does end, and it is well worth it. Let me see how many stitches I have. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. Perfect. Alright. So, like I said, this is a 4-row repeat, but you do need a setup row. So you're going to cast on your odd number of stitches, and then you're just going to knit the first row as a setup row. So we're just going to knit all stitches. Like I said, this stitch came from making a mistake. If you've seen any of my other videos, once I show you guys how to knit this stitch, you're going to know exactly which stitch I messed up on and where this stitch I'm showing you today originated. I think you guys it'll be pretty obvious which stitch I screwed up. So, okay, I casted on a odd number of stitches. I knit my first setup row. Now it's the first row of the 4-row repeat. And to do that, all we're going to do is knit the first 2 stitches. So 1, 2. Now we're going to knit in the stitch below. We've gone over this, but I will show you real quick. There's a bar right here, and there's a hole under that bar. All you want to do is put your needle through that hole, bring up a stitch, and knit the next. And that's the repeat. We're going to knit in the stitch below, knit 1. Knit in the stitch below, knit 1. Knit in the stitch below, knit 1, knit in the stitch below, and again, there's this little bar right here. There's a hole underneath it. It's really hard to see on camera. There's a hole underneath that bar. You just want to stick your needle in there, bring up a stitch. You're going to knit the last one, or the last 2 actually, for row 1. So you begin row 1 with a knit 2, and you end row 1 with a knit 2. Row 2, you're going to knit the first stitch and knit the second stitch. Now you have this floppy bar. This floppy bar comes from knitting in the stitch below. It's the original stitch that was on the needle that kind of just gets, you know, slid off once you knit in the stitch below. So all you want to do is you want to pick up that stitch, that floppy stitch, and you want to place it on your left needle. And now you want to knit the floppy stitch and the other stitch together. So we knit those two together. And then we're going to knit one. Again, we're going to pick up that floppy stitch, we're going to place it on our left needle, and then we're going to knit these two together. And then we're going to knit one. Again, pick up that floppy stitch, place it on our needle, our left needle, and then knit those two together. Knit one. Pick up the floppy stitch, put it on our needle, and knit those two together. Like I said, the first 4 rows are a little tight, but after that it goes really easy. Knit one. Pick up the floppy stitch, put it on our needle, knit those two together. Then you're going to knit the last 2. So row 2 was also a knit 2 in the beginning and a knit 2 at the end. Row 3, we are going to knit 1, and now we're going to knit in the stitch below. So again, here's that bar, there's a hole below that bar, we're going to stick our needle in that hole, bring up a stitch, we're going to knit 1, knit in the stitch below, and knit 1. And how do you know if it's knit in the stitch below or a knit 1 if you walk away? Well, if you look at this stitch, you can see, I'm trying to really get this on here focused, but my camera hates me. Anyways, you can really see there's a hole there for you to actually go into. So that's a stitch, a knit in the stitch below. And then this next one, there's really, it's like just a twisted stitch. You can't get your needle in there unless you really, really force it. So that's going to be just your regular knit 1. And then knit in the stitch below, knit 1, knit in the stitch below, knit 1, knit in the stitch below, and then knit your last one. Okay. Row 4 of our repeat is going to be knit 1, and now we have a floppy stitch. So all we're going to do, we have a floppy stitch, we're going to take that floppy stitch and we're going to put it on our needle, and then we're going to knit these two together. And then we're going to knit 1. And how do I know I'm going to knit 1? Because there is no floppy stitch. If there's no floppy stitch, there's nothing for me to pick up, so I'm just going to knit that stitch. Here is a floppy stitch. I can put that on my left needle and knit it with another stitch. So you knit those two together. No floppy stitch, just knit it. Pick up the floppy stitch, put it on your left needle, and knit those two together. Knit 1, pick up your floppy stitch, put it on your needle, and knit it together. Knit 1, pick up that floppy stitch, put it on your needle, your left needle, and knit those two together. Knit 1, pick up the floppy stitch, put it on your left needle, and knit those two together. And then you're going to knit the last one. And that was row 4, guys. You're going to end row 1 and row 3 will be a right side row. Row 1 and 3 will be a right side row. Row 2 and 4 will be a wrong side row. So we just finished row 4. We would start again with row 1. You repeat rows 1 through 4 until you have your desired length. No need to, like I said, the first row, the setup row where we knit, that was just a one-time setup row. You just want to repeat rows 1 through 4 to the desired length. And eventually, you will get something that looks like this. Again, I think the light is just washing out the detail, but it's almost like 3D. It kind of stands up it casts like a little shadow within itself. It's a little squishy. It's a really nice fun stitch, guys. Let me know if you know which stitch I messed up and came up with this. Alright guys, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do so now. If you would like to follow me on Facebook, there'll be a link in the description below. And if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. And until next time, I hope you all have a super wonderful, fabulous day, and happy knitting. Bye!